Hey guys, it's Josh again. This is one of those motors that I had purchased, and I believe it to be a little bit newer of a VH45, but I'm not entirely certain. Um, if anybody can recognize whether this is a S1 or an S2, that'd be pretty great. Just leave the answer in the comments. But for right now, all I'm doing is essentially, checking out all the cylinders, making sure that everything looks okay. So far, I mean, other than a little difference in the actual amount of carbon buildup on the pistons itself, everything looks okay. The other thing that I have been doing is I've just been going ahead and checking the cylinder walls just to make sure that everything seems to check out, and most of them are all like this. The ones that are the cleaner pistons, I don't actually see a ton of scoring on the cylinder walls. There's still some nice cross hatching going on. This is an unknown mile build, so for me, I'm just looking for the most obvious things, such as if the piston itself has made contact with the cylinder liner itself. I'll go ahead and take this and flip it upside down, show you guys a few things. I've already taken the plate off of this one, but I have never actually done a motor build before. I probably will not take these pistons out because I'm not really interested in doing a full motor build at this time unless I absolutely have to. But I was a little suspicious as soon as I took the baffle off of here, because there were little bits of metal that were kind of on there. But when I actually went to looking inside, looking at the piston skirts, just some basic things such as that, when I started rotating it, everything checks out so far. So what I'm gonna do in a future video is I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these caps off one by one and just visually check to see if we actually have any sort of bearing damage in here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and retorque them. If everything appears to check out, then I will go ahead and have Performance VH make me the rear sump setup for this. I already have a pan that I need to finish trying to get welded up. I've done not such a great job with it so far, but I'll probably finish that up. Doesn't really have to be pretty. Just has to hold oil. So for this, I'm just going to continue to start, taking a few things apart here and there, but I'm going to try to keep the rotating assembly all together. And when I go to take these caps off, I'm just going to check them one by one. If it looks like that there might be any sort of issues whatsoever, what I'll do is I'll probably get some sort of, I believe it's called the plastic gauge stuff, and I'll just check the tolerances just to make sure that it's within spec. But overall, I mean, this motor looks like it has definitely seen some use. It's a pretty nice golden hue on the inside, so it was maintained. There hasn't been any sludge or anything like that I could see inside, and there's still nice cross hatching in the cylinders, as well as everything seems very clean. The only thing that I have been concerned with is the baffle plate having a little bit of gunk on it, but so far so good. So that's your update for today. One thing I will show is if you do go to rear sump, I think I've explained this before on the other one, didn't do a very good job of showing, but when you go to rear sump and you switch your oil pickup tube, it's going to run along back to the back of the engine. Don't forget to plug up where the factory, where the actual factory dipstick tube goes. I forgot to do that, and yeah, that led to quite a bit of oil leaking out. But anyways, that's all for today. Like or subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you can identify whether this is an S1 or an S2 block, that would be sweet. I'm going to get with Eric and see if he has any idea how to tell the difference between the two. But that's pretty much it. Just going to continue cleaning this thing up. It is kind of dirty. It was in somebody's car at one point or another. And just go from there. Usually the best thing to do on, I think, most builds is to try to keep the actual rotating assembly together as much as you can, just because all this stuff is already matched from the factory. It's already sort of balanced together if it's never been like really touched before. One thing I did not like is the oil pump was already taken out of this. I do have the oil pump for it. It's just a real pain in the butt to get everything like sealed back up and make sure that it's pumping oil as it should. So, you know, that's another thing to think about is, you know, if you're buying a motor off of somebody, try to get one that's as complete as possible. And if you can check to see if it's running before you get it, that's great. This, I did not pay very much for it at all. So it's one of those things where if then this ends up being a bust, well, I have a whole other one over there along with some heads and such like that. But thanks for watching, guys, and if you have any feedback, just leave it below in the comments. Thanks for following.